Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and across the internet from me is...
Hi, I'm Rody John, and across the interwebs from me is...
Amy!
On today's show, we talk to Maurice Ahern, the owner of Grounds and Gold, about how he decided to open up a coffee shop and bakery, his son Micah, and the importance of community.
Then we talk to Julia Christina Cole, a.k.a. Black Hippy, about Cosmos, what being a local spoken word poet means to her, and where she finds inspiration for her poetry.
So what has everyone been up to since last week?
Well, the kids had a couple student holidays from school. So we went to Asia Times Square, which is on Great Southwest and Pioneer. And it's this huge Vietnamese mall. They have a grocery store inside and a bunch of restaurants. We had lunch at Bistro B. I had some pho. Daniel got a rice plate. Everything was delicious. They have like 100 different kinds of boba drinks that are really bizarre, like kidney beans. I'm sure they're delicious, like sweet beans and coconut milk.
I thought you were going to stop at kidney.
No. I mean, I don't
kidney
know.
boba.
I don't know. It might be in there. So
Got the most vitamin D. So.
The food
iron
was
rich.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, it is iron rich. That's definitely true. Beans or kidneys or kidney beans. Yeah, and we walked around. They have like a little makeup shop in there. We went in there. I bought a cute little outfit. And it was a really good time. And it's almost, like stepping into another country right here in Arlington, which is why this city is so great. What about you guys?
I stopped at Grounds of Gold as usual to get coffee this week. Where else? Tipsy Oak. I've been over there. Swung by Legal Draft. They had
their market, right?
Last week, yeah. We might be at the Urban Market next week. Actually, we'll be there, but we may actually have a booth. We're not sure yet. So it'll be the second Thursday of every month through the rest of the year at Urban Union. Go out there, check out all the different vendors. There's at least 3 or 4 different past guests of ours that are out there. It's fantastic. It's a who's who out there.
What time?
Who's who of Arlington Citizen Media.
Yes.
Oh, what time, Rody?
It is from 4 to 8.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the weather's perfect for that now.
It really is. That's why they're not doing it in January and February, because it is trash in North Texas. So.
Yeah. Just gross.
Yeah.
How about you, Daryl?
I don't know what I did last week. Probably nothing. That's kind of my jam. But today I went out and voted.
Hey.
And I think if you have the chance, everyone should go early vote. Now, October 13th to the 17th from 8 to 5. October 18th, it's closed. You can't go on that Sunday. Yeah. But the 19th to the 23rd, 8 to 5 again. The 24th, 7 to 7. October 25th, 11 to 4. So that Sunday you can go. And then the 26th to the 30th, 7 to 7. We have 5 locations in Arlington, 6 locations in Arlington.
And you can go to any of them, right? And
yeah.
On election day, you can only go to your assigned.
That's actually not true anymore. You can go anywhere in the county now. They changed that in 2018. But if you go early vote now, you don't have to worry about, you get your vote in the bank right away. You don't have to. I did stand in line. I was in line for about 35 minutes, and that's kind of been the case around the country. Like, it is definitely a big election. So, but also, in addition to the presidential and the state elections, it is a local election for us as well. Yeah. We are going to be talking to many of the city council candidates in the coming weeks or so. So stick around for that, as what Brody has dubbed the informed citizen.
There you go.
Stick around for that and go vote, and just, Bob Duncan Center, LZ Odom Center, Tarrant County Sub Courthouse, TCC Southeast, and UTA.
Right, and Asia Times Square will end up being a voting place as well. I saw all the...
On Election Day?
Yep, I saw them.
That's cool.
Set up there. And I voted in there before as well.
Yeah, make sure everyone gets out there and vote early, so that way you don't have to standing in any longer line.
Yes, because it will be very, very. You'll probably more than 30 minutes on Election Day.
Oh, today I've heard anywhere from an hour and a half to up to 5 hours. So
I actually ran into City Council candidate JJ Fitzroy at the early voting location. I went to LZ Odom Center, And I talked to him for a little bit, and he said the line was out into the parking lot that morning. He's been there all day. It was wrapped around the building when I got there, so it's going to be a long one. But if you go on one of these early voting days, I think you'll have a better chance of getting in and getting out.
Exactly.
And we'll be talking to him for sure. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, look forward to our special editions. They will not be coming out that Wednesday. You're going to get a double dose of us for the next.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Sorry ahead of time. More of us, the better. I am here with Maurice Ahern, the owner and baker here at Grounds and Gold. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you, John.
So, how did Grounds and Gold come to be?
So, Grounds and Gold came to be ultimately because of my son, Micah Ahern. We started Gold Ribbon Confections, the bakery, 3 years ago. After my son passed with cancer. He had neuroblastoma for 6 years. When he passed, started that as a way to kind of honor him and give back. But the goal when we started the bakery was I had a dream of like having a bakery coffee shop, but decided to do bakery first. And as that continued to grow and see there was a need for more space, then started dreaming like, is this the time now to do the coffee shop bakery? So that's kind of how it originally started, the reason we started and why we're here today.
Right. Could you tell us more about Micah? Because he may have left us too soon, but he still lives throughout this place with the mural, with the little details on the coffee cups and everything that you do here. Tell us more about Micah and how he lives through this place.
Yeah. So Micah, he was when he was diagnosed with neuroblastoma. He fought it for 6 years. And passed away when he was 7. That was 4 years ago. So Mike, he was connected to the TCU baseball team, and they had made him a part of their team when he was 3. And when that happened, he went to the World Series. They went to the College World Series, and then they went 4 years in a row.
That's awesome.
It was kind of a really cool kind of relationship they had. He was known for saying never ever give up, and so the players kind of rallied around that. It was just a unique relationship. So they experienced a lot of success when he was part of them, and people came to know Micah because of that relationship. So he was really well known in the area, loved, but Micah was just, his personality was just very embracing of everyone and just loved people, loved to have fun, and so that kind of personality, that kind of those characteristics is what we wanted to put into a place. And so Grounds and Gold, when you come in here, there's a stage that's in the shape of his superhero symbol. There's a mural above that, and that mural tells different parts of his story. But that stage is where live music, or we'll have open mic nights, or different things of that nature. Hopefully a place where, just like Micah brought entertainment life, that place comes in. But even when people come into this place, that they feel kind of this, just this life and embrace in a place where people are enjoying life together. That was the goal of making a place just like Micah was as a person at this place. So there's aspects of him all throughout in the design. There's some things on the menu that have nods to him or different things. So yeah, I mean, I would have never stepped out and done what I did if it wasn't for Micah. He was who inspired me to not give up and who to take a risk on something that was scary. I've never owned a business before this, and but he was the inspiration, and so that we hope this place inspires, even as students are in here studying. Like we've had a student in here that already who's doing stuff in the same area as what Micah was. Actually, I got a thing this Saturday from a student. She was a Arlington High grad. She went off to college. She was inspired by Micah's story. Well, she came here Saturday and visited, and she sent me a message and just saying, I love the place. I want you to know that I got accepted on the cancer floor of Cook Children's. So she's like, Micah was the inspiration behind that. And so that I can't explain the joy in that, but to know that a place like this hopefully can continue to inspire people to, do stuff like that, just like he did with her.
Right.
So.
And you guys have barely been open, fully open a week, but you guys are soft open for a little over a month now.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're already getting that kind of feedback is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's humbling.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you offer baked goods, meals, and coffee on your menu. Would you like to tell us a little more about what is on your menu and your signature drink, the Micah Mocha?
Yeah, so as you said, we have baked goods. What's unique about here is that we have a bakery actually inside.
Right.
Gold Ribbon moved to here, and so we not only can you get all kinds of good baked stuff in the pastry case, you've got cinnamon rolls, kolaches, scones, pies, cakes, all kinds of different items. Mm-hmm. But also with our cafe menu, we make the breads for that. So the avocado toast is on French bread. We have biscuits that I think are pretty amazing. And those biscuits we make in-house. We also do gluten-free biscuits. So those are made in-house. And then all the sandwiches are bread that we make in-house. So that's the unique thing of having a bakery in here to kind of offer that. But then the coffee... all the coffee, we partner with Merritt, who's out of San Antonio, really good roaster, local as far as Texas.
Right.
And, but because of their size, being in San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, they do have that kind of ability with farms and purchasing power so that we know where it's coming from. It's a good quality bean, the farmers that are involved, and the roast is that. So we have them as our roaster. On our menu, we have a Micah Mocha, which is our signature drink that's inspired by Micah's love for Almond Joys. Mm-hmm. So it's a twist on trying to put an Almond Joy into a coffee drink, and I think it's pretty good. If you like a sweeter drink, it's on the sweeter side. But yeah, that's a little bit about our menu. We have sandwiches, salads, soups, charcuterie for sharing. There's all different kind of items. So when we went to open this, part of the thing is we did a vision trip to Paris, and I've always loved kind of a French culture. My name is French, but I don't speak much French, but I've always been inspired. Of course, the pastry background of me in France with pastries, but we wanted to go there and really kind of just get a vision of that type of cafe and bakery, and so even though this is not like exactly what you would see because of the area, some of those things inspired, like putting things where you can get certain things, those feels of the cafe in a place, and feels of the breads and the things, and so trying to take some of those things and kind of put it here in Arlington.
Right, exactly. So how did you come up with coming up here to South Arlington? Because almost everything seems to be growing in North Arlington, and not that South Arlington's getting this snub or anything, but there's not a lot of spotlight down here, unfortunately, as it could be and should be. But you guys are down here in South Arlington now. How did you guys come up with this spot? Yeah,
so that's crazy. So the mayor of Dalworthington Gardens, Lori Bianco, is actually who really kind of got us here. But when I started this 3 years ago, and when we moved into our little bakery kitchen, when Gold Ribbon started, and we moved into our bakery kitchen on Division and Bowen, even because I knew everything that was happening in North Arlington, and I had a relationship with Urban Alchemy doing pastries for them, I had a dream of having a place in downtown Arlington because I loved what they're trying to do down there. But I lived in the 76016 area code.
As do I.
Yeah, as most of my time in Arlington has always been in that, and I've known. Well, the only place you get coffee in 76016 is Starbucks.
Sure.
The only real bakery, now there's another cake place, which is good, but the only bakery that's really in the area was always Iris Bagels, which has been around, but it is basically bagels. Yeah. And so knowing that there's just not a lot, and I think it's a great community, and there's a need for it. So in the back of my mind, there's always this dream, but you're like, where? So I had looked at different places and things just didn't work out. And then I'm at an event a year ago doing a pies for a guy named Derek Kinney who does this pie for cause thing. And the mayor was at that thing, and she was like, we want you in Dalworthington Gardens.
Right.
And I kind of laughed, and she was like, no, we want you. So that's kind of where it started, and they really did pursue showing us areas that would work here.
Right.
And so that started a process. They've been great in the thing, and that's how we ended up where we are today.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm loving it because it's right up the street from my house, so it's no problem for me. So you've mentioned that you want to have this place be a center for the community, where you can have meetings, you can do stuff. You can rent this place out in small sections or the entire building. Can you tell us more about what people can look forward to about building community and also renting this place out?
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing of one of the dreams. We have different C's, we call them, parts of this. So, there's the coffee, there's the confections, there's the cause. The cause behind it is childhood cancer, but the community is a huge aspect of what we do. And so a lot of times, like with coffee shops, some are really small, or some you can't get in, or some do have a little bit of a community aspect. We wanted to be known more than just, hey, that's a place to get a good coffee. We wanted to be a place like, hey, this is where the community comes to like gather, and really this is their place. And so as we started developing and building this, that became part of a cool dream process, is like, hey, what can we do to this that the community can use? So that, like, when we made the stage, and we're like, man, what can we do with that stage, and how can, like, the local high school, the choir, show choir, different things come in and use it, or what can we do with space? Because 76016 area, there's really not much in here space wise. So we're like, hey, let's have a thing where if people want to do small parties, they can come and rent. So we have the ability for people to, as you see, this whole section can close off, and people can rent it for birthday parties, for rehearsal dinners, business meetings. So we built those kind of aspects into it, but also more than just someone being able to rent the place, we can do classes. So like, if like Angela, the coffee director, is really passionate about coffee, but he can do pour over coffee classes or different things of that. We can offer decorated cookie classes or things of that nature. We can do birthday parties around that. People, there's all kinds of fun stuff you can start doing when you have the space and you're trying to, open it up. And, even as community comes in and says, hey, I do this thing, and I would like, just the other day, it was big news, like some guys I cycle with got in a bad accident. They got hit, two guys, well, there's four of them, but two of them got hit really bad when they were out on Green Oaks. Well, one of them passed away instantly. The other one was hospitalized. He was a local Arlington police officer. And but they came, he's doing much better now. He's still got a long road recovery, but he came here the other day, and the police officers were able to come up here and, work. So it's just even cool, like something local in the community happened like that. There's a place where they can come and people can come and meet. So it's evolving as it goes, but that's the great thing of having a place that affords that ability.
Right, exactly. I believe you mentioned before that you wanted to maybe do like a barista show off, maybe a showdown. We can try to get inclusion, maybe some other coffee places that you see who the better barista is, or what they can do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So by all means, the cool thing about this is we don't want, like, having been involved in the Fort Worth food scene before I started here, I worked in the Fort Worth food scene and done stuff with the Food and Wine Festival. And what I love about Fort Worth is there's just a great commodity with people in the food, with different chefs and different things of that, and the desire for that to even grow here in Arlington. So even this place is, we're like, we don't want to, we want the coffee scene to grow. We want to be these great relationships with other coffee places here, with other bakeries. So the part of that is, one of the things we talked about is having a latte art throwdown. And so they have them in Fort Worth, they've had in Dallas. So we hope is we build it again. We've got a couple slayers, espresso machines, so that what happens is baristas come in, they practice, they compete with their latte art. We got a projector in here, so the projector pulls down so people can kind of see it as it's happening. And all in good fun. There's a fee, they small fee to enter, but in that process is someone will be awarded and get the prize, cash prize, whatever the thing is with that. And and hopefully continue to build that coffee scene and just be a part of inclusion, urban alchemy,
right.
savor of the other coffee shops in the area, just all having some good fun and letting people know what Arlington has in the coffee community.
I think so too. That'd be great. So we have a segment on the show called Tournament of Toppings. We're trying to find the best pizza place in Arlington. What is your favorite pizza place in Arlington?
Oh, my favorite pizza place, and man, this is funny because this was asked before, and I was even saying, like, getting me to put one name down is hard, but I do love, I love, as far as the chain goes, I've enjoyed Mellow Mushroom as a chain because I actually went to school near one of the original ones in another state, and so they used to open up around the college towns and that kind of college atmosphere and stuff, and so I've always liked that kind of fun atmosphere. But I also like Mr. Jim's is kind of fun. But I do like, there is Joe's, I believe it's Joe's Pizza or something.
Was that Matlock and 20?
Yeah,
yes, that place is fantastic.
And so I've enjoyed their pizza there. But man, I love pizza, so just put a lot of stuff on a pizza, and man, I'm a pretty happy guy.
Yeah, same here. So how can people follow you guys on social media, and then also order online, because that's an option you can do here too?
Yes, so we have an Instagram page, we have a Facebook page, Grounds and Gold. Also, Gold Ribbon Confections, the bakery, has an Instagram and Facebook page. But yeah, follow us there. We keep it updated with different specials, different events and things we're doing. As we said, we've only been open a month, and so officially like a full real week. But we're still going to be developing that. Hey, we got live music on certain nights. Definitely, hopefully, getting John to help me kind of think through the ideas of open mic night and some of those things, because we do want to develop that and have a night with that. So, by all means, please follow that, because we will be really having different things like that even advertised on there. Even like we talked about, because of the TVs and the screen. So right now, college football is playing, so we thought about, hey, I'm not a Texas or an OU fan, but I'm like, the big Texas OU fan game is next year. I'm like, it would be fun to pull it up and just have it later in the day. So there's things that we can do, different things that we may, and so by all means follow. We'll have those things on social media.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time, and you see me here at least once or twice, sometimes up to 4 times a week.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
I'll definitely see you more.
Hey, thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right, well, we are here with Black Hippy, a local performance artist, poet, and provider of all things interesting. How are you doing today?
I'm beautiful. Thank you so much, Amy. How are you?
I'm doing good. We've had a great day recording.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. It's a little warm. I was really thinking it was fall, and I do this every year.
It tricks you.
It tricks you every year.
You're like, all my jackets are coming out.
Right. I was pulling my sweaters out from
all
under
the
the bed.
beanies. I was like, I'm ready.
And then no.
Cardigan over everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Well, our first question is, what is Cosmos, and why do you do it?
Okay. So Cosmos is basically just a monthly open mic that I started in my apartment because, my friends were already hanging out at my house a lot anyway.
Right.
And whenever they would come over, they would put a beat on and they'd start freestyling, and they would have little ciphers and jam sessions. And I was like, let's do this for real. Like, let's make it legitimate. And I thought it was just going to be something small and intimate for me and my friends until it popped and lots of people came and I didn't have any room anymore. So then I was like, damn, saw what I could do just with that little, a bit of imagination and what it turned into. And I was like, oh, okay, I should get a venue and do this. And that's how I grew.
So how do you combine the worlds of spoken word and visual art?
Okay, so how I feel about art is it is a form of expression. And for me, how I express myself is through words, right? And a lot of people that have come into my life recently, just being a part of this creative art scene, they have all different sorts of mediums. And that's always been an inspiration to me with my poetry. It's been an inspiration to me with my relationships and my friendships and even just my spirituality and all of that. So for me, visual art is art. Art is art. Art is art. Art is art. So I don't know. If it's inspiring, if it can change your life or change somebody else's life, art is art to me.
Right.
So in Cosmos, what you have, how many mediums are at play here? Is this music? Is it spoken word and visual art all combined?
It's everything. So it was a little joke. A universal open mic. Literally speaking,
I love it.
It's all art forms, whether you're a comedian, you're a dancer, you're a singer, you're a rapper, you're a poet, you're a painter, you're a sculptor.
Right.
Fuck, you do haircuts. Like,
Yeah,
I don't give a
that's
fuck.
art,
That
too.
is art.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
art. That is
Certainly,
art. Like,
certainly.
actually, at one of the auctions that we had in February, people were donating clothes, people were donating handmade jewelry, people were donating whatever they wanted to the art auction, and then we auctioned it off, and then the proceeds we donated to Mission Arlington. And one of my friends was like, well, fuck, I can't paint, like, I can't rap, but, like, I can cut hair. And I was like, shit, let's auction
cut
off
some
a
hair.
fucking haircut.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And, like, it's his passion. It's what he does. It's what he's good at. So that's his art. That's his art form.
Very nice. So where does medicated food come into play?
I love weed. I'm a weed head.
Oh, me too. Okay.
So, ironically, my daughter's name... Okay, so my daughter's name is Kaya, and that's a song by Bob Marley.
Right.
And Kaya can be translated into two things, like place of peace, shelter from the storm, and also it's like Jamaican slang for marijuana.
Right.
Then she was born on 420.
Oh, man.
So,
That's
like,
destined.
yeah, so I'm a weed head, I'm a big pothead,
Okay.
right? And, you know, a lot of my friends are vegan, and so I just thought, I was like, oh, we should have vegan food. And then I was like, oh, we should put weed in it. just high thoughts.
Ideas.
Just sitting down, really thinking about it. Really, what's really funny about it, though, is the whole idea of putting the weed putting the, like, THC-infused oil, coconut oil in the vegan food. I was thinking about having a big holiday edition, like, celebration, which is what we ended up doing. And I was like, what should I call it? And I said, oh, we should have a potluck where everybody brings food. But then I'm thinking potluck, and I started thinking about pot. And then I was like, okay, we should put weed in it, and it literally be a literal potluck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that popped. My friends almost burned down my apartment making that.
Oh.
Making that vegan.
Was it worth
Alfredo.
it?
Oh, it was great. The fire department came because the fire was so big.
Wow.
And again, my daughter took a picture with the firemen. They gave her the sock monkey from their window.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was really funny. Lots of memories. But that vegan Alfredo was bomb.
Okay.
Oh, it
was
sounds
so good. It was so good.
No,
but then you just keep eating more and getting more high, right?
I'm trying to tell you, because this time we had jambalaya, and I only ate half the bowl, and an hour later, I'm, like, on my ass. I was like, damn, they really did that shit.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to go, Rody.
Well, obviously not.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I like poetry as it is, but if we have weed food on top of it,
not only are you gonna
get
like the
going.
poetry, you're gonna, like, feel it, like a visceral reaction to it.
I might read some of my own.
You might. You absolutely. You do stand up. You could. You know. Like,
I could do multiple. I guess I'm an artist of many sorts, so I could do a lot of things. Yeah.
I think it's important for people to feel free and comfortable when they come to my events. Like, I started it in my house, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I didn't give a shit if people smoked. Where I smoke here, it's my house, right? So, like, I wanted people to feel comfortable, and so, you know, there's a lot of stigma attached to, like, weed or, like, psychedelics.
Well, there's
and stuff
that
like
whole reefer madness that happened, and then nobody seemed to have
which
gotten
is not
off of
if
it.
you've ever done marijuana, you know that is not at all
close.
like what the.
At no point do I want to eat babies or run out of a window.
I never
want
to be like like they are in that movie. Like I'm always like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, super chill. Like, and it matches the vibes. If the point is we're coming here, we're having this experience, we're expressing ourselves. We want everybody to feel comfortable. We want everybody to feel safe. You need to smoke a blunt for you to feel like, you know, you chilling. Then that's what you need to do. I want you to feel free to do that. I want everyone to know it's 420 trip friendly.
Exactly. It's not for everyone, but alcohol also isn't for everyone.
Yeah,
coffee
for sure.
isn't
That's
for
true.
everyone.
I hate
Chocolate's
coffee.
not for
I hate
everybody.
chocolate.
There you go. Well,
So, you know, what is Cosmos doing specifically to make a better world for people of color? Because, you know, I imagine there's a lot of that there, like it's geared towards that sort of crowd, not necessarily Rhodey and I, like.
Well, I would take myself out of it.
Well, I wouldn't say, okay, because I'm a black woman and I care about black issues and I'm very vocal about black issues. Actually, I never even started Cosmos.
Specifically
or
right.
even Squad 9, which is the nonprofit. When I was 13, I read this book by K.P. Yohannan, and it was called No Longer a Slumdog, and I loved it. And then I read his other one, Revolution and World Missions. And basically it's about this missionary, K.P. Yohannan, who went into Cambodia, and he just basically re-kidnapped all the girls that were kidnapped and sold into sex trafficking, and he
So he found them and was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Back to their families and stuff like that. So he started a whole organization, a nonprofit. And not only was he out in the streets, like, being an activist, he was, like, fighting their government, trying to get people rights, like, because, they have their social caste systems and all this other stuff. So, and at 13, it broke my heart because I'm surrounded with a world of people who aren't talking about this. And I'm like, how come nobody's talking about this?
It's like, it feels like such a big issue,
Yeah, it
right?
feels like I'm reading this. I'm like, damn, does nobody else know about this? Like, just like nobody gives shit. Does nobody cares? And so, like, at that moment, I was like, I think I want to be a missionary. Like, I want to help people who can't help themselves. I want to be like K.P. Yohannan.
Right.
So, yeah, that's just like being 13 and thinking about what I want to do in my life. But when it got crucial, and I'm like an adult, and I'm 18. I moved out when I was 17, and then I turned 18, and I was homeless, bouncing from friends to friend's house. Me and my brother's baby mama ended up living together for like a long time. We ended up becoming best friends, and we're doing our laundry at a laundromat in Dallas. We were staying in a little studio, a literal studio, like a studio, like an actual studio. We were living there in Dallas, and I was like, dang, like, I feel like my life has no purpose right now. I need to do something. Like, what do I care about? And I was like, you know what? I always wanted to be a missionary, so I'm going to start my organization. And so we sat in that laundromat. We thought of a name. We thought of a mission statement. We thought, like, I said, she asked me, what matters to you? And I told her the long things that mattered to me in the world and a long list of things that I wanted to change about the world. She did the same. And, then Squad 9 came about. And then I was like, now let's make it legitimate. And when we lost that apartment out in Dallas, we ended up, coming back to Fort Worth. We were homeless, but we didn't care. We went downtown. We established it, like, legitimately and legally, and we paid the money, and we did what we needed to do. And it started off slow for a while. It started off mainly just doing marches and rallies and speeches and protests. And around that time, it was right around the time. It was in 2015, so it was right around the time where old dude was killed, the one that was selling the
Eric
cigarettes.
Garner up in New York.
So that was around that time, and so we were really busy doing that. And then I got pregnant, so I had to stop.
Kids do that.
Yeah, I had to stop, and it was kind of it was hard for me because having a baby so young took a lot of my focus off of, like, my passions and stuff, and it created a lot of strife between me and my family because they're so religious. So I'm dealing with the stress of them. I'm dealing with the stress of now I'm a mom, and then her dad's also not involved. So I wasn't really thinking too much about poetry, the nonprofit, or anything. When things started to settle down and I got into my new apartment and, like, I was working and everything was kind of chilling out, I started going back and doing my poetry more. My name started getting out there. People started booking me for gigs. Now I've got more friends. They're hanging out with me. And then it just unraveled and unraveled and unraveled. So I don't think any of this really stemmed around, like, a race thing. It's really just about people who are marginalized and don't have a voice and they can't speak for themselves. How can I use my voice and my blessings, the things that I can have, things that I do have and that I can do that they don't have and can't do? How can I help them using those things? And so I guess when you ask what kind of work do we do in the community, well, when I first started doing Cosmos, it really wasn't about.
Was it more about the art?
It was just more about the art. It wasn't. It's like Squad 9 was its thing, but Cosmos had nothing to do with it. But then after a while, I was like, man, this seems super head ass. Like, we're just coming together so that everybody can fucking get on stage and, like, show people what they can do, but like, what are we actually doing? Like, And so I was like, how can I, because I don't want to do events for the rest of my life. How can I connect this with what I really want to do, which is run my nonprofit? And so I took some time and I thought about it, and I was like, boom, next event we have in February, let's hold that auction. I got with my co-host S Cams. He's a rapper, a local rapper. And I was like, what organization should we, donate the proceeds of the auction to? And he was like, well, I'm going to let you have some time to think on it. And I thought about a time where I couldn't pay my light bill. And I called the phone number, and the resources was like, well, go to Mission Arlington and see if you qualify. I go to Mission Arlington. I'm all like super like looking left to right when I walk in, like, I need help. And I don't want nobody to know I need help, right? But they were so inviting. Yep. They were just like, they're so sweet up there. The lady that like started it, she's old. Yeah. She's so awesome. Yeah. She's like the sweetest one. She out there in the field. She out there working, pulling stuff off the truck.
At like 95 or however old she is.
Whenever we came to drop off the check to her, she was just like, she was working. She took off her gloves. She was like, oh, how y'all doing? Like, she was super sweet, like a genuine lady. But anyway. So when I go in there to get my light bill paid, I'm filling out the paperwork. They go to review the paperwork, and they're like, in the meantime, if you want to go in here and get some food, some clothes, some shoes for the baby, some toys, just have at it. Just go shopping like you're for free. Just go. And I'm like, I don't need any of that, but that is so great that y'all have that option. And when I went back there, I saw mothers and families who are in way worse situations than I am in, and they need those resources. And it just reminded me that there's always someone else that's in a worse situation. So, but here's this ministry that's trying to help those people because they have not forgotten, and they see them, and they know that they need help, and they're doing something about it. So I was like, yeah, let's do them.
Yeah. And
then this last event that we had on Wednesday, the rain kind of fucked it up a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. We ended up picking Arlington Life Shelter. So they're a new shelter in Arlington. They're actually right around the corner.
They just did like a big remodel.
They did. And most of the ladies working there, even though it's not Black run, most of the ladies there are Black. It's Black women. And they have the sweetest, most caring hearts like I have ever seen in my whole entire life. They treat people like they like it's their home. Like, they're coming in, like, they don't treat them like, I don't know how to explain it. They don't treat them like how you would think people would treat you at a homeless shelter. They're just like, oh, hey, how you doing today? You getting off work? Oh, that's cool. Like, they're just really sweet. They make you feel like you're at home, like they're part of your family. Like, that you're coming home and your auntie, like, sitting on the couch or something.
And it's a hard enough situation as it is, and you don't need any kind of stigma attached to it at all. And I mean, I'm sure most volunteers wouldn't provide that. I've not been in there, but that's great.
It's like a hotel.
That's nice.
Like
that's so great.
Yeah, so that's the kind of work we're doing now. I do want to do bigger things though. Like, I don't know. It's like I have so many plans. Every time I have an idea and then I do it, it just inspires me to keep doing more shit because I'm like, damn, I did that. So if I can do that, I can do this. But it's like one step at a time, whatever's feasible at the moment. But we could dive deep into all the like the things that I really want to do with this nonprofit and with Cosmos. It's limitless.
Right.
Yeah.
Limitless.
So, kind of on that same thread, how do you see yourself and Cosmos changing the city of Arlington?
Okay. I don't know if I give a shit about the city. I don't know if I just care about Arlington. I think I care about people that are in my vicinity. And I want them to grow, right? And I want myself to grow. And what can I learn from them to help me grow? And what can they learn from me to help them grow? Yeah. So I don't know if it's like specifically just I want Arlington to change. I think I just want people to change. I want people to be the best version of themselves because in turn, if they're doing that, then they're going to influence the people that are in their vicinity. And then those people are going to influence the people that are in their... And it's like an infection, and it grows outside of the city, and it grows
like
outside of the state, and it grows outside of the country, and it just,
So basically, I mean, everything you do has the possibility of changing lives, you know? That's... awesome.
Yeah, that's actually what the 9 N Squad 9 stands for. So the 9 actually, for me, originally, before I knew that 9 stood for rebirth, and that's biblical. I do have, like, biblical roots, so, like, that's kind of where it stemmed from. I'm not super religious, but I am spiritual, and I believe that the spirit realm exists, and nobody can tell me that it doesn't. I've had way too many experiences, and I was sober, so.
There you go.
But yeah, so the 9 represents the 9 fruits of the spirit. Y'all can look that up on your own time. I hate going deep into it. But basically what it is the fruits of the spirit is fruit that you bear, right? And whenever that fruit falls from your tree, and then that fruit kind of disintegrates or whatever it does, what's left of that seed, and that seed is now planted. And that seed represents the influence that you have on someone else, and that could potentially grow a new plant, which now they produce fruit. And when that fruit falls, then it disintegrates. Right. And then there's another seed planted, and another tree grows, and so on and so forth. So, you know, it's basically just about impact and influence, but then also the rebirth. When I found out that 9 actually stood for rebirth, I'm like, that makes sense. You are literally continuously regrowing something else in someone else, and then them into the next person. It's the rebirth process just happening over and over again. So, right. Yeah.
So, what does the future hold for you?
For me, hopefully, I can open up a wine lounge before I'm 30.
I don't know if we have like a couple around here, but
not enough.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say like a city
Mansfield's got a
place
good
is sorely
one.
lacking in some places like that.
So Arlington has Urban Alchemy, which is a coffee place and wine place. They got a pretty good wine selection,
but they're not open late.
They're not open late. They close around 9ish, I think 10ish maybe at the very latest. Poured is pretty good out in Mansfield.
I haven't heard of that one.
But again, it's out in Mansfield. It's not in Arlington.
30 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
For me.
Well, for you, for sure.
Yeah.
So there isn't really a wine place. I really do believe there needs to be a wine place here.
I'm an alcoholic, you guys, but I'm a wineaholic, and
I sell wine for a living, so I know that there's not any place around here to go drink.
Yeah, he does. Our house is full of wine.
There's
no
so
way.
Much wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full of it.
Like 35 bottles. Like just
no, don't invite me.
Just saying.
It's bad. Like I love wine. I really do love wine.
What kind of wine do you like then?
I prefer red wine.
Okay.
I prefer a nice Merlot. But here's the thing. Yes, and like I drink Cab in the day. This is my thing. Cab by day, Merlot by night. But okay, so this is terrible. This is so terrible, you guys. Okay, I love wine so much. I love wine so much that Instagram knows that I like wine. And it showed me an ad. It's like, what kind of wine like fits your personality? Right. Take the quiz today. And I'm like, all right, I want to find out.
Hell yeah.
Take the quiz. At the end of the quiz, it's like, bet, these are the 4 wines. And if you buy them now, you get 50% off. And I'm like on the toilet at 8 a.m. like, do it. Don't do it. Do it. Don't do it.
You did it, didn't you?
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Do it. And I did it. And I bought them. And so when they finally come in the mail, I opened the first flap, and the first flap says make. And then the next flap says pour, and the next flap says decisions. And when you open it, it's the 4 bottles of wine. One of the bottles of wine was called The Lost Poet, which I never even said shit about me being into poetry.
Right.
For some reason, Instagram knew.
Yeah. The universe knew.
So, yeah. But yeah, wine is like my thing. I love experiencing different types of wines, and I think it's like an experience for me. Yeah. I don't even care about the drunkenness of it. Like I really just care about the experience. Like, I don't really like sweet. I don't like sweet wines. The bitter, the better for me.
Yeah.
And there's a whole ritual to it, right? You know, opening the bottle and having a nice corkscrew and like the way it smells when you open it. And yeah, I'm not a huge wine drinker, but there was a point when I was, and so I get that. It just, the headaches was too much.
Oh, for real. At the end of the day, a nice little bath with a Merlot is like perfect. But yeah, so like, I think, there's not a lot of wine lounges, but like, please don't nobody steal my ideas. Like, I'm just,
somebody might hear this and be like, oh, somebody else is into it, so clearly maybe y'all can work together.
Yeah, maybe
hopefully.
Even
hey, I'm just going to pray. I'm just going to pray that God protects everything that I say in this interview. But, it's not, I don't just want to do a wine lounge. Like, I want to do some freaky shit. Like, I want to do, not freaky shit. I mean, like, some weird shit.
I was like, where are we going here?
Daryl was like
I care about people. Like, I really do. Like, my life, I really feel like I was put on this planet to be a servant.
Okay.
And I feel like not a lot of people are, like, able to accept that type of thinking.
Right.
Because we think about ourselves a lot, and like to think that you came here to do for others, you're like, no, but what about my quality of life? Like, I get my quality of life when other people get their quality of life. That literally makes me have a better quality of life. It makes me feel good. So anyway, I kind of want to put like a little community garden, like smack in the middle of the lounge,
me,
like a
I
green
love gardening.
room,
Yeah.
right?
I'm here
like
for
a little
it.
green room, and it's like by night it's like super chill, jazzy vibes, right? And then like every Tuesday and Thursday, 2:30 to 6:30, families could come in there and fill out some paperwork and like get free fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
And then they fill out the paperwork, and then it's like now we can know what other resources they need, and we can like get back in contact with them later on, and like, hey, we have this program if you think you would be a part, or hey, we have this, or just stuff like that.
Hire, like ex-felons to work in your wine bar, give them a chance.
Give them a chance.
I've got this whole thing in my head now. I'm into this.
Yeah, no, if you need gardening help, holler at me.
I bet. Who knows how to build a bar? Who knows how to build a greenhouse smack in the middle of a bar?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, if we don't, we can definitely. We know the people. We can definitely help it out. So, where do you find inspiration for your poetry?
Definitely now, my daughter.
Gotcha.
But before she was born, heartache.
Universal truth there.
Yeah. Somebody told me that my poetry is sad girl poetry, and I was so offended. I was like, damn, well, shit. I guess you're right. So,
What specifically about your daughter, like, kind of...
She gives me strength. Yeah. I have a lot of... I'm open about it. Like, I have, a lot of depression and anxiety.
Sure.
And that I've had that since...
Absolutely.
I don't know, since I was like 11.
Since I was, exactly.
So, and I never, poetry was an outlet for me. But even then, I couldn't always do my poetry. That's like, something I use as a crutch, but when I couldn't go to it, or when I'm having writer's block, then how can I use that for my healing? But Kaya, she ain't got no choice. She's stuck with me, and I'm stuck with her, and she's like literally my rock, my stability, my reminder, my reason to still be here. So she's definitely my number one inspiration when it comes to poetry. I think I've written a few poems about her because, I don't want her to have the same experiences that I had growing up. I'm not to say my parents were like fucked up people. They did their best. They're adults dealing with childhood trauma still. Like we have to understand that when we're dealing with people, like everybody has their thing that they're going through still, and all we have to do is like decide whether or not we want that in our space or not. And, distance is whatever. But anyway, so I don't want her to have the same experiences that I had growing up, and so it's important for me to be a whole person so that she can see what a whole person looks like and then do that as well. So
yeah, I think that's like a similar philosophy for me. Like, I don't want to show my kids, like, I feel like, and again, I don't want to like dog my parents either, right? But like, I want people to like, or I want my kids to know like the whole person, like you're talking about. Like, I'm a creative person. I'm into gardening. Like, I'm vulnerable. Like, I have depression and anxiety issues. Like, I want them to know that, like, that's okay.
Absolutely.
Like, it's fine to feel that way because it's normal.
Exactly.
Like, it's not a weird thing. Don't, like, push it down and, like, bring it up. Let's talk about it.
That whole vulnerability, I think, like, that's my thing. That's been my thing since I started doing poetry. Like, I used to, when I would get on stage, to make myself more comfortable on stage, people thought I was just doing this like as a cool thing to like make them remember me. No, like I literally would say, all right, before I start my poem, I'm going to have my vulnerable moment. And I would do that literally to make myself more comfortable on stage. I would just tell them something dumb I did throughout the day, or something dumb I thought, or something dumb I said throughout the day, and literally made myself exposed. So now ain't no going back. Ain't got nothing to hide. Just be yourself, right? And so I want her to feel that way. I take her everywhere. I take her to my poetry events. I take her to other people's poetry events. I I take her everywhere. She's attached to my hip, not just because it's hard to find a sitter, but because
it is.
That's hard as fuck. But I want her to have those experiences. Like, my parents sheltered me so much. They did not let us be creative. Like, even when I got into theater arts, like, they didn't take that shit seriously. They did not come to the shows. Like, you know, they just did not care about the creative side of us. You know, they just cared about doing everything in ABCD order. And I think that had something to do with my confidence, not being able to express myself how I wanted to, not being able to wear my ripped jeans, not being able to write my favorite bands in Sharpie on my Vans, you know, not being able to go hang out with my friends at the mall or whatever. Like, I just didn't feel like I could express myself, and it made me feel less of a person because I feel like the more you have something that you can, something that you're good at, that you are allowed to do, it makes you feel good.
Yeah,
it makes
it's
you
like
feel
empowering.
it makes you feel worthy of being here. Like, I have a purpose. And they didn't let me explore that.
And when you're young, you know, and you're exploring your identity, you want people to know that. Like, you want people to know what your identity is. And it's important while you're forming that. And whether that's like a punk kid or like a grunge kid.
Oh, I was definitely a grunge kid.
Right. You know, like, you want to be able to, like, show people that in your clothing and, like, your attitude and everything. And
well, and also, I think for people to take that seriously, like, as a kid, like, because I was a punk rock kid, like, my parents were just like, it's a phase. And it's like, no, that's who I am. Like, to this day, that's who I am.
Right.
You know? Like,
oh, they hated the music I listened to. They hated it. I'd be... They used to take away they wouldn't allow us to have clock radios.
Ooh.
They wouldn't let us have MP3 players, CD players, iPads, iPods, iPod touches, phones. We weren't allowed to have phones. Like, it was really strict in my household, really, really strict. So I really did not get to express myself. But, like, yeah, they always thought it was a phase. They thought the listening to the music, it was like, no, like, I feel like I'm more in tune with my blackness now. Like, I think when I moved out of there, my parents were really bougie. So when I moved out, I got more in tune with, like, my blackness, but I still was, I guess, kind of cultured, I guess you could say, because, like, I enjoyed everything. Like, I really enjoyed every type of thing. I didn't make, like, black people are not a monolith.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things to be inspired by and to enjoy, and it doesn't have to be just one thing just because of the way you look or how you grew up or the color of your skin, or that's stupid. So yeah.
All right. Well, heavy, but we have a tournament of toppings segment that we've been doing.
So
here.
less heavy.
Yeah, trying to cheese is heavy. Trying to find
Cheese is heavy. That's
Dough can be heavy.
right the best pizza.
Wait, what?
We'll get there. Don't worry.
So we're trying to find the best pizza place in Arlington. Do you have a favorite pizza place?
Blaze Pizza.
Okay.
Boom. I haven't been there yet.
Really,
Oh
Blaze
my
Pizza? Is it because it's called Blaze Pizza?
No, it's because they have vegan cheese.
Oh, okay.
And because I hate dairy. Like, I don't give Kaya dairy. Like, fuck dairy. What is dairy? It's like cow pus. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to make me drink that shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
It's for them, not. It's like
Not
for the
for
cow.
us.
Right.
It's for the
not-
cow. You see any other animal sucking the tit of another animal?
Right.
No. Why are we doing that weird
One time
shit?
I saw a kitten and a pig.
Really?
All right, but that's like a one-off. That's not a
Yeah.
thing.
Okay,
that
don't
happens in
even like that.
nature.
That's some
Right,
weird
right.
kinky Pornhub shit.
No, it was on National Geographic.
Yeah.
Porn.
Yeah, okay.
That Nat Geo porn. But
Nat Geo porn.
Yeah, so Blaze Pizza is super dope. They actually sponsored my event.
Really?
Oh,
When I
cool.
first started doing it in my apartment, I went up there, I talked to Brian. I was like, yo, Brian, I used to work at the other location. You think you could give me a discount on like 10 pizzas? And he was like, yeah.
Cool.
And he did it. And he gave me a
awesome.
discount on 10 pizzas. He's like, but just put out all these flyers and shit, make sure people come and pass out these coupons and shit.
Okay.
So, yeah, I fuck with them because they're like Subway. You can go in there and literally make the pizza how you want it. You go down the line, you tell them what you want on it. I want this type of crust. I want this type of cheese. And they cook it in a fire oven.
Yeah.
Fire brick oven.
Unless
that's
it's
cool.
a wood-fired, like,
Yeah,
like a pizza.
no, it's brick. It's
It's
brick.
brick? Okay, yeah. But, like, it's that crispy, like, yeah.
It's so good. They got all sorts of toppings: basil, cherry tomatoes, fucking just everything. Like Guatemala olives, black olives, green olives, fucking garlic, minced garlic, like garlic cloves. Like, it's great. Roasted garlic, it's great. They have
garlic
so
cloves.
much stuff. Like with different type of sauces, cheeses, meats. The meats are not just like hamburger pepperoni. Like, they got chicken, bacon, spicy Italian, chorizo, fucking vegan. Oh, and I think the chorizo is vegan.
That's awesome.
Which is really strange.
I've had some vegan chorizo and it's very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where can people find Cosmo's events and also follow you on social media?
Okay, so you can follow Cosmos at Cosmo, COSMOS, Open Mic. And you can follow my personal page, but, like, I get annoying on there because I talk about a lot of black shit. I'm constantly going live, like, this is my thoughts on black shit today. And people are like, oh, here she going off again. Yeah, I do. So
I watch those frequently. I'm a frequent regular on those lives. I enjoy them. I like them. I've ran into Rhodey's room. Look!
Yeah.
And for real, because I just be going in, like, it's how I feel in the moment. I'm like, I have to say it. But, yeah, if you want some more chill shit, yeah, go to Cosmos. You can stay up to date with the upcoming shows that we're going to have. And, yeah, come out to those hoes. Like, support that shit because we be having a good-ass time. You know what I'm saying? We really do be having a good. And I work so hard on those decorations. I broke my back, okay? Literally giving y'all a literal outer space experience, okay? So come to that shit and enjoy it.
When's the next one?
Soon.
Let's say New Year's because I'm tired. Let's say New Year's.
Okay.
But
these events are hard to put on. It takes
it's
a lot out of you.
Everybody. It's not for everybody.
Okay.
So let's just say January 9th is the next one for right now.
Okay. I'll be there.
Well, thank you so much, Black Hippy. It was amazing for you to come out here. I'm so glad on short notice that you were able to come out. I really appreciate it.
I ain't doing shit but watching the baby.
There we go.
All right, y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our guests for coming out to speak with us. Of course, Browns and Gold, check that place out. Black Hippy, always a pleasure. Check out Cosmos. Those open mics are always wonderful. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned for these upcoming City Council episodes. And
it's not just City Council, though. We actually have a U.S. State Representative candidate as well.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Big time.
Stay tuned for that, too. So
make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and
go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the Downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.